listening to the Dr. No Show on WHIT Radio.org. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. No Show. We haven't been on in a couple of days, but Brandon Barris is back with the Morning Buzz. And Brandon, what's the top stories for today?
A new era in space exploration dawned Tuesday as a slender rocket powered into the dark Florida sky before sunrise, carrying the first private spacecraft bound for the International Space Station. Abdel Megrahi, the only person convicted in connection with the Lockerbie airline bombing that killed 259 people on board Pan Am Flight 103 and 11 on the ground, went to his grave protesting his innocence. Calling the students an inspiration to me and the world, President Barack Obama urged Joplin High School graduates Monday to heed the lessons they've learned and spirit they've shown to rebuild not only their tornado-ravaged Missouri City, but also their nation. And now on to what Mr. P is going to talk about today. Everest will be crowded again days after 4 killed. Prosperity shortfall puts Obama at risk, but Romney's not seized the day. Cory Booker fit to be tied after GOP's I Stand with Cory Booker email. And Mr. P, you have more for us?
Yes, I do. Mount Everest is in the news. There was 4 people that were killed there at the other day. Days after 4 people died amid a traffic jam of climbers scrambling to conquer Mount Everest, Nepal officials said. About 200 climbers are expected to attempt the 29,000-foot mountain between Friday and Sunday, and this has happened after 4 people were killed a few days ago. It is a treacherous mountain, the tallest in the world, and oxygen levels are very low on the top, and it's considered the ultimate test, really, of risk-taking, I guess, or manhood or womanhood, or whatever you want to call it. If you climb Mount Everest, you basically can do just about anything. And so 200 climbers are set to do this. More than 3,000 people have climbed Everest since Edmund Hillary, and Tenzing Norgay became the first to do so in 1953. Some 225 climbers have died attempting it. The deadliest day was May 10, 1996, when 8 people were killed. The main reason was said to be that climbers who go up there are not prepared, and they're not prepared for the cold, and they're not prepared for the lack of oxygen. So that's one of the main reasons. On the other story I have, it is not great days here. Prosperity shortfall puts Obama at risk, but Romney's not yet seized the day. Americans are nearly twice as lucky to say they've gotten worse off as better or off under Barack Obama's presidency. A prosperity shortfall resembling the one that cost the first President Bush his job in 1992 has happened under Barack Obama. Only 16% of Americans in the latest ABC News Washington Post poll say that their financial situation has gotten better. And this is unfortunate because I guess it's all in the way you perceive things, and this poll was taken a couple of days ago, and it shows that by a 55 to 42% margin on the economy, the economy is doing worse, 55 to 42%. With the economy by far the top election issue, it is notable that Obama is staying competitive in vote preferences despite his poor ratings for economic stewardship. So Yeah, Barack Obama, I think that's what he's facing. He's facing, if the economy improves, I think he's a shoo-in for the presidency. If it doesn't improve, it's anybody's race. So that's the way I'm feeling it. And what do you think there?
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you have one more story for us, right, Mr. P, about Cory Booker?
Yeah, good old Cory Booker was on the other day. He was on, I believe, one of the talk shows, the morning talk shows, and he said some uncomplimentary things about Barack Obama, and did not go over too well with the Obama administration. So they were in kind of damage control here. Booker called Obama's Bain attack nauseating, and made and Booker says this attack made him very, very uncomfortable. So this did not go well with the Obama camp, and Cory Booker has apologized. He's backtracked a bit. This was on. He said this on the Rachel Maddow show. Okay, and the slogan had me, my entire staff, fit to be tied. What happened was that the Romney camp then took what he said on this show and used it for their advantage, and said something like, "We agree with Cory Booker on the attacks that Obama has been making on us," and Booker's feeling used because of it, and he says now he was planning to stay quiet during the race, but now he will not, and he will speak his mind.
Right.
So that's what's happening there. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. P, for those three stories. Today in history, in 1761, the first life insurance policy in the United States was issued in Philadelphia. So that was when the first life insurance policy was issued.
Right.
Today's birthdays, it is Betty Williams' birthday today.
Betty Williams, huh?
Yeah, Betty Williams.
Let me see if I can bring Betty up, okay?
Okay.
You want to tell us a little bit about Betty?
Yeah, she was a Northern Irish peace activist.
Right.
She witnessed the death of 3 children when a car driving by an Irish Republican Army base, terrorist went out of control and basically killed them. So she witnessed that. The two created Peace People organization. So they had a peace organization. She was Catholic. She was actually also awarded the 1976 Nobel Peace Prize. So she was very involved, I guess, or she really wanted peace for everything or everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that's who Betty Williams was, and we're trying to get her picture up now.
We did
get it up.
We get it up.
Okay, so that's if you're seeing it right now, that's what she looks like.
Right.
And that's Betty Williams.
Right.
And I just did today's birthdays. A random fact for today: the Earth gets 100 tons heavier every day due to falling space dust.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I know. With these random facts, you learn stuff every day. And our continuing series on the presidents of the United States, we're going to do James A. Garfield today. He was in office from 1831 to 1881, served as the 20th president of the United States after completing 9 consecutive terms in the U.S. House of Representatives. Garfield's accomplishments as president included a controversial reassurance of presidential authority above senatorial courtesy and executive appointments, energizing U.S. naval power, and purging corruption in the post office department. Garfield made a notable diplomatic and judiciary appointments, including a U.S. Supreme Court justice. Garfield appointed several African Americans to prominent federal positions. So that's a little bit on who James A. Garfield was.
Right.
You can catch this series every day of the week. I don't know. I think we're probably going to end it right after who gets elected, right? Or we're going to keep on doing it, Mr. P?
Well, yeah, we'll probably end it before then because we don't have
Right, 'cause
that
there's
many
no
presidents. But we'll take it right up to the election, I guess. And yeah, James A. Garfield, not one of the most popular presidents, I guess. That when you think of the top 10 presidents, you
Yeah.
don't think of him. But
Yeah, I don't think he would make that top
you
10
know,
list.
But anyway,
Yeah. Well, yesterday still going on the 2012 NBA playoffs.
right.
Boston beat Philadelphia 101-85. The Celtics lead that series 3-2. And now the LA Laker fans must
Oh,
be
boy.
really sad, really shocked because
Yeah.
they are out of the 2012 playoffs.
Right.
There is no finals from this year. There is no trophy because they lost yesterday 106-90 against OKC, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder win that series 4-1. Mr. P, I think in a way people kind of saw this coming because Oklahoma City Thunder have so many weapons and they have so many great players that I don't think the Los Angeles Lakers could really keep up with them.
No, athletically they can't. They couldn't. You know, should be an interesting series between the Spurs and the not the Clippers and the Thunder. Okay, that should be interesting. But I think I was talking to someone this morning, and he said he thinks the Lakers really made a mistake in the beginning of the year because they could have had Dwight Howard if they were willing to trade Gasol and Bynum.
Not only Dwight Howard, but also Chris Paul.
Chris Paul, they really could have. Well, I don't know if they could have Chris Paul because that trade was negated by the league office.
Right.
So I don't think
Well, they had a
had
chance.
too much.
They had a chance.
They had a chance, I guess, but they definitely had a chance with Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Right.
And you know what happened in Orlando, don't you? Van Gundy was fired. Stan Van Gundy.
I heard that. Right.
And the GM Smith was fired. So
obviously they're picking Dwight Howard over both of them.
Well, they always do.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got $100 million sunk in a player. Your coach is making $3 million. Which one are you going to side with, right?
Right, yeah, the player.
You've got all this investment, and it really is a shame, but star players run the league.
Right,
it's
yeah.
not
they have seniority over everybody, or they have power.
A star player's not happy with the coach goes.
Right.
So that's what's happening, you know. So
and with Carmelo Anthony too.
Yeah.
With Mike D'Antoni.
Star player's not happy. Star player's not going. The coach is going. So
right.
Van Gundy is out, and it'll be interesting to find who they hire.
Right.
Patrick Ewing, by the way, assistant coach with the Orlando Magic, is up for maybe the coaching job with the Charlotte Bobcats. He's a friend of Michael Jordan, who's the owner of it. So it's a possibility that Patrick Ewing might get his first coaching job there.
Yeah, right.
It's a tough job. They only won 7 games last year.
Yeah, imagine how tough that is for Michael Jordan, being a winner all of his life, and then having to watch, only 7 wins this season must be really tough.
Right.
An interesting series going on in the NBA is the Indiana Pacers versus the Miami Heat at the Game 5 tonight, 8:00. And Mr. P, a lot of people a lot of analysts say that Indiana are really, really good. That they have a lot of weapons, but most of the fans of the Heat and other teams, they really say that they're nothing. But they're holding their own against the Heat. They've been holding their own, throughout the whole playoffs. So I think that Indiana really honestly has a chance.
Yeah.
They have a chance to actually, make. I wouldn't say the finals, but I think maybe make it to the next round and beat the Heat. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I would be interested to see. I think if they had Bosch, there would be no problem with this series.
Right.
I think they kind of could have handled Indiana fairly easily. But I don't know if they can handle Boston. I mean, without Bosch. I mean, how long is Bosch going to be out? And the series tied 2-2, so there's no lock that they're going to get past Indiana.
Right, yeah.
So, he's a very important piece in that puzzle for Miami. So if he can come back sooner than later, it'll really help them.
Yeah.
All right?
The NHL playoffs are still going on, getting really, really close to the Stanley Cup.
Right.
The Rangers lost yesterday to the Devils 4-1.
Right.
Today's NHL games: the Los Angeles Kings versus Phoenix at 9 o'clock, and the Kings lead that series 3-1. The Mets lost yesterday 5-4 against Pittsburgh. Oh my God, they lost to Pittsburgh.
I saw a part of that game, and they were winning 4-0. Santana was on the mound. It looked like a W, going into the win column. All of a sudden, they start chipping away. And then in the 8th inning, a kind of crazy play where Baxter, the left fielder, and the center fielder, Newhouse, going for the same ball.
And
Newhouse called for it, and somehow Baxter didn't get out of the way. And the ball dropped, and the run scored, and that was that.
Yeah.
So, it's hard.
As a Mets fan, I really don't want to hear that they lost to Pittsburgh. You don't want to hear that. But Game 2 of the 3-game series tonight at 7:05. Hopefully they can redeem themselves and still take the series 2-3. The Yankees lost yesterday also 6-0 against the Royals. Wow, both teams really losing to really not so great teams. The Royals and the Pittsburgh Pirates. So,
they're not a really great team, so
the
Mets are not a really great team, so everything has to work for them. I think they really have to really consider sending what's his name down to the minors, Ike Davis. He's batting $163. He doesn't. I don't know. He just.
I just don't like his swing.
Yeah,
his swing is so unorthodox.
He's got a major hitch in his swing. It's just not confident, and when you lose your confidence, the game can be humbling. And he looks like a nice ball player. A couple of years ago, he looked like he was going to be a 25, 30 homer guy, bat about 280, play a nice first base. He looked like he was going to be a fixture there. And I don't know what's happened to him. He was out all last year with a broken ankle or a sprained ankle, really. Not even a broken ankle. And then this year he had some kind of fever or something like that.
Yeah, he's just a completely different player than what he was the middle of last year, last year. Completely different player. Last year was, I think he was batting close to 300, I want to say. And now he's only batting, as Mr. P said, what was it, 163?
Yeah.
And that's not good. And if you're gonna rely on somebody to play first base every day,
that doesn't cut it.
Right.
That doesn't cut it. So I don't know. Maybe a trip down to the minors will straighten him out a bit and take the pressure off of him. But he's really hurting the team right now.
Right. Well, in soccer, it was the biggest weekend of all weekends. Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. It was the UEFA Champions League final. Mr. P, let me tell you, it was an interesting one.
Right.
Went full 90 minutes, still tied 1-1 after both unbelievable goals, and then went into 2 overtimes, still wasn't finished. Then they went into penalty shootouts.
Yeah.
So and Chelsea, they won off penalties, and so they are the 2000.
Devils won yesterday, right? They beat the Rangers.
Yeah, the Devils won yesterday 4-1.
Yeah.
So it was a big week in soccer over the weekend. Also in the NFL, RG3 and Brandon Weeden, also Andrew Luck, and also plenty of other rookie quarterbacks started working out this week with their teams. And Mr. P, I know there was not a lot, but a couple of quarterbacks taken in the draft this year. A couple really good quarterbacks. How many of them do you think will start immediately?
Well, obviously, what's his name, Luck and Griffin.
Right. Yeah.
They'll start immediately. I don't know about anybody else. What was that third quarterback?
I think Brandon Weeden.
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Tannehill will probably start for the Dolphins because the Dolphins just have nobody.
Right.
Brandon Weeden might not start. I don't know. It's up in the air. The Browns said that they'll put it. It's going to be a competition, but they expect Brandon Weeden to win it. So I mean, we'll see. There's going to be a lot of interesting quarterbacks to see how they play this year, having been taken so high overall, especially with RG3 and Andrew Luck. I want to definitely see how they do this year. But yeah, it should be an interesting NFL season. Hopefully the Patriots can make it back to the Super Bowl. Yeah. And I know it's asking for a lot, but I think every fan wants their team to make it to the Super Bowl every year, and just hopefully the Patriots can redeem themselves and win it. win it next year. But
Not
it's
if they
gonna be
play
tough.
the Giants.
That's what
If
I'm
they
talking about,
make the
Mr. B.
Super
Bragging
Bowl-
rights.
If they make the Super Bowl again next year, and the Giants make the Super Bowl next year,
Oh my God, that would
I don't think they're
it would
gonna.
explode.
I think they've got a what do you call it, a block now with the
Yeah.
Giants. Two Super
two in a
Bowls.
row that
Yeah.
Tom Brady is probably not going to
Yeah.
be the same against them. It's just
Yeah.
every time they play them, those two
Yeah.
Super Bowls are going to come up, and it's
Right.
he might not say that it affected him, but it
will.
does.
It
It
will.
does.
It does. You know.
And but I think the Patriots, when you look at their team,
Yeah.
they don't really have that many high name players
Right.
that you see in the league. They have low key name players or middle, but they all excel at such a high level that it's pretty amazing to
Well,
watch.
the coach, you've got a great coach.
Yeah, Bill Belichick,
He gets the
amazing
most
coach.
out of his players. They play smart. Just right now, they have a block when it comes to playing the Giants. I guess
know.
especially I think Brady kind of thinks he's snake bit. a
Yeah,
little bit.
Brady and Eli Manning must be it must be a real competition there
Right.
because before that Super Bowl that went on, they were saying Brady's the better quarterback. But now that Eli Manning has won two
Yeah.
off of Tom Brady,
Yeah.
could slide a little
Well,
bit.
he's definitely a better regular season quarterback.
Right, yeah.
But you can't say he's a better playoff quarterback, and that's when it counts.
Right, yeah.
Unfortunately, you can be as they were a couple of years ago. They were 16-0, right, in
Right.
the regular season. Doesn't mean anything unless you win in the playoffs. So,
Yeah, exactly.
It's a playoff league, so
You could do fantastic in the regular season, but if you do horrible in the
Right.
postseason,
right.
your coach is not going to say, or your
Yeah.
management or your front office is not going to say, great
Yeah.
job. They're going to say,
Yeah.
well, you did great in the regular season, but what happened in the postseason?
All right.
That's where
And
the
so the fans,
Right,
the
yeah.
fans. Giants came out with the Super Bowl ring, and that's what it's all about.
you don't get a trophy for the regular season. You get
Yeah.
a trophy for winning.
Right.
Winning whether it be Stanley Cup, whether
Right.
it be the NFL Lombardi trophy, anything, any type of trophy. That's what it's all
Did you
about.
see what LT Lawrence Taylor's ring was auctioned for?
How much?
Over 200,000, I think, on an auction. I don't know if it was eBay or anything, but he's not in good financial straits, I guess.
Yeah,
And
I guess he's selling it.
so he had to auction his Super Bowl ring. That's a shame, but he put himself there. So
Maybe I'll see if I can bargain with him and
yeah,
see if I can get that ring. Hopefully bring him down to maybe 100.
yeah.
If that's all I have.
Right.
But it's been a great day here at WHIT
Yeah.
Radio.
Had a good show.
You can check us out every day of the week. Haven't been here the last few days, but I'm back and I will stay back. So keep it locked here on WHITradio.org.
You're listening to the Dr. No Show on WHITradio.org.